So I'll go over the colors right now. We're going to use red Alumilite dye with pearlescent powder because I ran out of my deep red pearlescent powder. Alumilite pewter. And Alumilite copper. We're going to do 270 grams split into 3 containers, so 90 grams a piece. So we'll mix it all first, then we'll split it out into 90-gram containers, and then each container gets a different color. Wait till it warms up, and then away we pour. We'll be back in a bit. Alright, so we're going to start the pour. Alumilite clear, slow set. This is the A side. That's the B side. We're going to do 135 each because it's 1-to-1 by weight. So 135 each gives us 270. And away we go. Alright, so just to let you know, I took a little bit of this black Alumilite dye on the tip of a toothpick and swirled it around in the red to try and deepen it up a little bit. It was ever so slight. According to the clock, we got 36 seconds left, but according to temperature, we're at 95, 95, 95. So we've got a little bit more time. The timer's going to go off here in a second, but we're gonna start this pour here pretty quick. Just make sure everything's stirred up good. Yeah, everything's starting to thicken up. So we're gonna silence that, and you can see that. Alright, it's just before noon. Pressure pot's all pressurized. I'll explain this. Typically I keep this ready. You can see it's different layers. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, it's different layers. So this is what I call my over pour. If I pour too much resin, this is where it goes, and it just drops right down into the pressure pot next to whatever I'm pressurizing. I got a pretty cool blank out in the garage, which you guys will probably see eventually. Hoping to either turn it into a pencil cup or a nightlight. We'll see what it turns out to be. But now it's time to clean up all this mess and go from there. All right, we're winding up with a bunch of orders on pens. Just finished this one up for a buddy of mine I grew up with in Vermont. Of course, it's not going to focus. It is a dragon pen. With that, I made a bunch of blanks that came out pretty well. That is copper deep red in pewter with a spruce cone. And this is deep purple, deep red, and light purple with a spruce cone. And that's the last Zac Higgins special that I have. Green apple, and I believe it's a Tahoe pine cone. So we're going to try and pick one of these. We're probably going to drill them all and get them all set ready to go, because that's kind of the way I go. And we will get to it. See you in a bit. One other thing I forgot to do is off of the side that we got marked for everything. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to put a line down the other side there. That way I know where they're lined up. Alright, so I checked to make sure all the tubes will fit and be inside the blanks. This one's going to be kind of tight, so we're going to have to be careful with getting that one set. I'm going to be using Tight Bond medium. I have my Tight Bond thin sitting here just in case, and then Stick Fast activator. These two work pretty well together. Well, I routinely have multiple projects going to try and keep myself busy. There is a Celtic twist pen going on right there. And then back over to our dragon pens. We're going to do Zac's green apple pen first. I need to get the instructions on how to set this thing up. So the tip bushing is the smaller one, so no, you probably can't see it. But you probably can see that now. This is the smaller bushing. So that goes up on the top of it. The lower blank is the shorter blank, which is that one. We want to make sure we get these lined up. It's going to go on there like so. I'm going to put the middle bushing in, which is a double-ended bushing. Put the other blank on. Put the larger bushing on. A couple of spacer bushings. And the nut. Sorry about the glove. I'm working on the other lathe, putting CA on a pen. So I actually like to use my stab center for my pen mandrel. I don't typically use a pen mandrel except on a double bushing pen or a double barrel pen. I actually like the between centers for anything that's got a single part to it. They just work better. So this actually kind of works like a mandrel saver. You bring it up, lock it in place, and then you just have to bring that spring up just to hold it in center. And then when you spin it on, it runs true. Typically I start out my pens 1500, 1600 with a fairly large spindle roughing gouge just to get them rounded out. And then I might switch over to my negative rake Easy Wood carbide or my skew chisel. Depends on how I'm feeling that day. The skew chisel, I'm just not quite good enough yet, so sometimes I mess stuff up. So get this over here, back from it a little bit, a little low, set it up, and I'll be back when I start turning. I gotta go finish putting some CA on this other pen. Alright, so the pits are filled up with CA. We're going to come back in with 150 grit to 400 to level everything off, smooth it up, and get it ready for the final finishing. We're going to be turning this at around 600 for the sanding, roughly. We don't want to overheat the resin. I won't force you to watch it, so we're going to turn the dust collector on and I'll be back when it's done, when we're up at 400. We're to 400. The radial scratches have been turned to lateral scratches. We're going to clean it up with denatured alcohol and then start our finishing process. Again, that gives us another cool little shot of what this thing's going to look like. Cleans up quite nice. Let that dry and we'll be back in a couple minutes with a CA glue. Alright, the denatured alcohol has dried up. Now we're going to start the finishing process. Give it a protectant layer of CA, thin, tight bonds, instant bond. I typically put about 10 quick coats on. It doesn't take all that long to do it. And it gives everything a good shine. It fills up any of the remaining scratches or anything from the 400. And I normally turn this down right around 300 RPMs. That's not 300. Roughly 300. And just like I did with the final couple coats of the thick or the medium to fill the pits, put a little bit on the rag over the top, and then let it dry. There's one. I'll be back when I got the 10. Now that the CA is dried and set up, we're going to hit it with a little bit of 800. Just to level off all the little high spots and low spots and stuff, just to get them leveled out. And then we're gonna come in with a Axe abrasive paste. So this stuff isn't just for bowls and platters and such. You see me use it on bowls and platters all the time. I actually have pretty good luck with it for finishes on my pens. Get a little bit on the paper towel. Rub it in to begin with. I like it around 600 to start. Maybe 6 or 7, something like that. I like to make one pass at cleaning it off, and then I'll speed her up to about 900 or so to get the rest of it off. I like to make sure my bushings are clean at this point. Because if the bushings are clean, now when I put the polishing compound on, the blank stays clean. Again, it's not just for bowls. Fire the lathe back up. I left it on the 900 because I'll progressively get higher from when I start with the paste. I won't slow it back down. All right, I'll bring it up to 1200 RPMs. Try and build a little bit of heat in it. Got to be careful not to build too much heat or you'll burn the blank. But I'm trying to set that wax. Now we'll go put it together.
Now I got the blanks over here. So first things first, You put the nib in the front half. And then you've got to put the collar in the back side of the front half. And they recommend that you get a board with a hole in it so you don't press on these threads here. So I just have that piece over here because I've been making a few of these recently. That goes together like so. So that's that half. Then this piece screws onto here. Actually, being done. Put the pin in first, obviously. Then you put that piece on there. And it works. Then we're going to make sure everything's right here. That's the end. Because with this setup, one end is bigger than the other. So you want to make sure that you get everything right. So this goes in this end. And that pushes up flush. I got enough press to do so. So that pushes up flush. And then you gotta find where your dragon clip goes. Screw this top on. I think we're gonna go with right there, because that looks like dragon scales there. This is a little bit less. And then line all that up to make sure it lines up. And there's the completed pin. Get the debris off of it. Alright, we'll get some stills up at the end.